I'm John. This is Slow Learner, a channel where I share videos about my process of learning and improving on the Baritone Ukulele. Today I want to just cover two main basic ideas, chord shapes, the A shape and the G shape. And because A and B are kind of adjacent to each other, I'll throw in B for good measure. So at the end of this, you'll be able to play A major, A 7 or dominant 7, A minor, the same for B and G. And you'll be able to play them using shapes that you can move around up and down the fretboard, giving you ways to play all chords using those same arrangements of fingers. Okay, so the shapes are movable, and I'll start by teaching you how to do them down at the end of the neck here as open chords, but I'll finger them in a way that makes them portable, and then you'll be able to move them up and play whatever chord you want. The main note that you need in any major chord is the root, or the first note in the scale. So you need an A, and you can get it by fretting the second string down, the A or the G string on the second fret to get an A. Okay, so that's kind of our North Star. That's our center of the A chord. Do. And the third is right next door on the second fret of the next string down in space, up in pitch. And then the fifth is up here on the open E string. So it goes A, C sharp, E. And those are the root and the third note and the fifth note of the A major scale, and they make up an A major chord. That's just a triad. That's only 3 strings. But if we play this lowest string here, the D string, also fretted on that second fret, now we have doubled up the 5th tone in the scale. That's an octave right there. So this is an E, D, E, if you fret the second string. Okay, so would be root, 3rd, 5th, do, re, mi, fa, sol. That's a little closer to my singing range than if I try to start here with do. I could just barely do it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. That gets pretty painful. So, that's an A major chord. And you might be looking at that saying, that's kind of dumb. Why is he using his middle finger here? It's a lot easier to hold down those 3 strings with the index, middle, and ring finger. And that's an acceptable way to play an A major as well. So you have to hold down 2, 2, 2, and then leave the top string ring open. Most people play it like this. Why do I play it starting with the middle finger here? It's to make this a portable or movable shape. So if I slide this up and hold this string down on that first fret there, I get 3, 3, 3, 1 instead of 2, 2, 2, 0. 3, 3, 3, 1, and that would be an A sharp or a B flat. And I can keep going up that way. For comfort, it's probably easier just to lay this index finger down across the entire fret And you're only holding down that E string there, but it's just a little bit less awkward to kind of leave it laying against that fret. You can kind of roll it in a little bit to hold those strings down a little tighter. So 2-2-2-0, and then for the B major it's 4-4-4-2. Those are major chords. Root is right here. That's a B. All right. Root is underneath your ring finger. Ah. All right. So, why know where those notes are? You know, you can play this chord and you can play along in a songbook, and it'll sound good, and you can sing with it, and you don't have to know where these notes are. And that's something I'm still learning. I'm a slow learner, right? So it's something that I have to kind of think about a little bit. It's good to know where the notes are, because then you can convert a major chord into a minor chord or into a seventh chord, and you can build other chords as you increase your knowledge. But we'll just talk about the minor chords. So you know that a major chord sounds a little happier, and a minor chord, and let's do this the right way, sounds a little sadder. It's got that bittersweet feel to it. And you achieve that by dropping the third note in the scale down one fret, or a half tone, to make a flat third, which in this case would be a C natural as opposed to a C sharp. All right. Normally, a lot of people would hold that down with the index finger and second and third middle finger there to make an A minor chord. The frets being held down are 2, 2, 1, starting from the top, and then the highest string, the E string, holds out open, rings out open. So there you go with the A minor. Why play it like this? Ring, pinky, middle finger? Well, that makes it portable again. So A minor is here, A sharp or B flat minor is here, B minor is here. So if I was playing B with this shape and I wanted to change it to a B minor, I would shift my ring finger and pinky up to here and swap out so that my middle finger was holding down the second to highest string, the B string, and I could play a B minor that way. Okay, so minor, major, minor. You're taking this third, which is on the B string, the second highest in pitch, and dropping it down one fret to make the minor of the chord. And that's how to change the A into a minor. You drop the third fret. Let's go back to the A shape and figure out how to turn that into a 7 chord. To make a 7 chord, you need to take the root, the A, and drop it down one full step or 2 frets to the flat 7, and that's what's called the dominant 7, or what usually it means when you see a 7 chord written in music. G7 or A7 will be this type of 7 chord. And you can make what passes for an A7, for instance, by taking this root, which is right here, remember it's under your ring finger, and letting it go so that now you get a G right there. The G is the flat 7 of the A major scale. Next comes 8, which is A again, right? So it's right below the root, or the first note of the scale. And that is kind of an A7, but there's a little bit of a problem because it doesn't have an A note in it anywhere. So relative, if your ear is listening to this and hearing an A, and then I play that, it registers as an A7. But if you kind of sneak up on it from a different direction, musically it might not really work too well. There's another way though to make a 7 chord, and that is you can raise the 5th note of the scale by 1.5 steps. So if you go up 1 step, you get to the 6th, and that's straight, just all the strings on the same fret. But if you go up 1 more, you're up to a flat 7. So that's awkward to try to do with the fingering we've been using, right? I don't have any fingers left to try to raise this to the flat 7. So what you kind of have to do is take all these 3 fingers that are holding down the A on the 2nd fret and replace them with your index finger, all right? And they're holding down 2, 2, 2, and then use your middle finger right here on the 3rd fret in this case to make the flat 7 a G. So a 7 chord has that real nice weird tension because you're playing the root and you're playing a note that is dissonant with the root. It's just one, full step away from it. They sound kind of weird together, and that's what gives a 7 chord its special sauce. That's the appeal of a 7 chord. So to turn, let's apply that to B so that you can see it in the context of the movable shape. All right. So to get from A to B, we have to shift up 2 frets. That's a B now. To make it minor, we have to drop this note, which is the 3rd, down 1 fret. That's a B minor. And to turn this B major into a 7, I need to get this one fretted. So the easiest way is to replace these fingers with this finger and then drop my middle finger down onto the 5th fret. So I'm fretting 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5 to play a B7. Okay, so now you know how to play an A major, an A minor, an A 7, and a B major, a B minor, and a B 7. So what about the G chord? I talked about the A chord. Now you can slide it up to make a B chord, and then how you can turn those into minor and 7 chords. The G chord open is a super easy one to play, and when you make it movable, it's really the same as the A shape. It just has one of the notes shifted to another spot. And so let's just tackle the open shape first. How do you play an open G? Well, you need the G itself, which is played open now. And then this is the third. Do, re, mi. And then we're going to skip fa, sol, la, ti and go all the way back up to do. So that's an octave. The G string here is doubled up with this high string on the 3rd fret to play a G as well. So now we still need the 5th note in the scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. But we play it, we just play it an octave down, and that's a D. Okay, so it goes G, A, B, C, D. And we can play that D right here. But then we're not playing the 3rd anymore. Alright, so you kind of have a choice. You either play 1st, 3rd, skip it and go to the octave and have your 5th down here, or you can go root, 5, octave, and then have the 5 doubled up in the bottom, and that gives a different character. That one that doesn't have the 3rd in it anymore is technically like a slightly different kind of a major chord. I think it's G5. It's sort of like a power chord or something like that. It does have a cool sound to it, but it's missing that B. Okay, so normally we play a G major chord like this: open, 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 3rd fret, and that's kind of your cowboy G. So if I play the minor 3rd there, then I kind of have to play the root up here, and that's not quite right. I can play the 5th here, so then it goes root, 5th, and that's another 5th. So these 3, 0, 3, 3, 3 becomes a G minor. And that's kind of a big rearrangement from here. It's not very intuitive, I guess you could say. You have to shuffle a few things around to get the root, the flat 3rd, and the 5th to make a minor chord there. How is this? How are we able to turn it into a 7? That's a lot easier, and it's a lot easier to understand. You just take the root, which is up here, and drop it down 2 frets or 1 full step down to an F. Alright, so the F is the flat 7 of the G major scale. Alright. So that is a G7 chord. Root, 3rd, flat 7, and the 5th is down here. So as far as the G shape goes, the easiest thing to kind of do with it is to convert from the major chord to the 7 chord. How's this movable? This is where the pinky really comes in handy here. If we leave this string fretted with the pinky and slide it up, we can cover the rest of the strings with the index finger. And then and that would be a G sharp or an A flat. And then go up one more, and this would be an A chord. Using that same shape that we learned from the open G. Okay, so open G major, G sharp, A, and you can play any chord with that shape. Working your way up to B here. And that should be familiar to you. You might remember before we played B like this, right? Or like that. And now we're playing B with 4, 4, 4, 7. All right. So all we're doing is, before we had the fifth on this top string, and now we're holding down the same 3 notes here, but we're swapping that with our pinky up here and playing the octave. So it's a B chord either way. All right. You can play it this way, which is easy to turn into a minor, because now we can drop the third to the minor. Or you can play it this way, which is harder to turn into a minor, but is pretty easy to turn into a 7. Remember before I said you turn a B into a 7 by raising the 5th and going to the 6th and then going up one more. So you see, they're just 2 different ways of approaching the same arrangement of notes. And the only difference between a G major shape and an A major shape is where the what the top string is doing, what that top E string, what its role is in the chord. In both cases, your North Star, your center of gravity, your reference point is always here on the 2nd string. The A note in the case of the A major. The G note in the case of the G major chord. When you just learn the fingerings in the open position and you never stop to think of how they can move, and you don't stop to think about what the notes are doing in the chord, you don't have an intuition for, how can I change this a little bit to make a different sounding chord. But once you do start to think about it, at least in my case, it's made learning things a lot quicker and easier and more understandable. Bonus, one of the prettiest kinds of chords in my book, you see it in lots of kind of bossa nova and jazz and different sorts of kind of sweet, kind of happy, kind of sad music, is a major 7, which means that instead of a flat 7, you have just a half step below the root mixed into the chord. Super easy to play using from an A major, for example. Before, to get a 7, I said, well, you could drop your ring finger and go all the way down to open with this. Well, to get a major 7, you have to take this root and just drop it down 1 fret or half a step. So using the fingering we were using before, I can put my middle finger on the 1st fret, 2, 1, 2. Sorry. Play a major 7 chord, all right? And it's the same if you're playing that same shape further up the neck and you're playing, say, a B. You want to do it a major 7, you just put your middle finger down here and you make kind of a triangle. 4, 3, 4, 2. super cool sounding, has a jazzy flavor to it, and something neat to be able to do that you can do if you know where the notes are in your chords. So I hope that was useful. If you like it, give it the thumbs up. Maybe leave a comment. Question you have, something that you've discovered that has helped you learn, or a resource that you'd like to share. And thanks for watching.